What's up? Are you sick of it yet? I don't know about you, but I am. Let me give you a few reasons why I'm saying that. It's really weird how you got so many people saying that the economy currently is in such good shape. These people are claiming that the unemployment rate is so low. It just doesn't make sense. If that's the case, why are the prices on everything so high? Why do they just keep going up? Have you seen the price of eggs lately? Ridiculous. I've been out of work for 3 months now, and I got news for you. Ain't anything promising in sight as far as a job is concerned. Nothing. I recently sold a batch of my homemade natural soaps. Made $80 off a batch of 12 of those. But other than that, I'm having to stay home a lot since I moved away from my mom and dad's property. I lived there for a year in an RV with no plumbing, which I did that when I was a kid, long time, like off and on for like 10 years. So that wasn't really that big of a deal. Excuse me. Been a long time. Excuse me. But then when the refrigerator went out and I was out of work, didn't have money to pay for anything, couldn't get it repaired, had to move again. Now I do think that it is quite possible, maybe even probable, that I might wind up having to be out there again in there, regardless of the conditions. It would at least be a place to sleep and be out of the wind. But still, let me tell you, I know from experience, even being out of the wind, it can get pretty darn cold. I'm talking super cold. Even with my one electric space heater and propane heater, it was tolerable, but it was still cold. That's even being bundled up with multiple layers, and I'm talking thick layers. And those charcoal warmers in my shoes, that did help a lot. Those warmers in the shoes, they help a lot. Because it is very true. If your feet are cold, you're likely your whole body is going to be cold. But, things happen the way they happen. I have basically decided that if the time does come that I have to go back out there again, the majority of the time, other than when I'm sleeping, I will probably, if they don't have a job, or if nobody has a job, or the majority of the country doesn't have a job, then nobody's going to be able to buy propane. Whether you got a propane heater or not, you won't be able to buy it. So I guess what I would have to do in that situation is just build a nice fire outside to stay warm that way. I would at least have maybe some degree of entertainment. My computer holds about 6 hours worth of charge, so I do okay. And plus I've got books out there that I have bought when I actually have money, so that will help. Don't forget, folks, if everything does get as bad as it very well could, because it's looking more and more like we are going to see something very similar to, if not possibly worse than, the Depression of the 1930s. And if we do, then got news for you. It's going to be a whole lot worse this time around than it was then. Back then, people actually cared about each other. They had close-knit communities. They actually did what they could to try and help each other. It's not like that anymore. People are dog eat dog. They're all for themselves, all about their entitled little crapola attitude. So it's not going to be an easy time for anybody, including people who have collected supplies. Now, because I've tried to explain to to my mom, it just doesn't register with her for some reason. That, having everything out there spread out on the property where everybody passing by every day can see it is not a good idea. Because I have seen on multiple occasions people doing two things. One, they will pass by very slowly, just staring down at the property. When they're not doing that, they just stop and stare at the property. Not good. Already seeing that happen, and it's not even a situation where people would be scavenging. There have been quite a few things that she's claimed have come up missing. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why. When everybody's asleep and the lights are out, what's going to stop anybody that wants to from coming around and taking whatever they want? Absolutely nothing. Well, I've just been really struggling for since August, really. I left Speedway, had to. The place was driving me nuts. Got a job at Domino's. That didn't work out. It was just too complicated. I guess it shouldn't have been. The worst thing about it was taking orders on that phone. These computer systems these days, for me anyway, are quite confusing. And everybody's always so busy, they don't always really have the time to help you do something or show you what you're doing wrong. And then quite a few of them did, multiple occasions, but kept trying to tell that manager that I was working for there, I need this stuff written out, like step-by-step instructions on how to do what. They never want to provide that. They expect you to just learn as you go. That's not that easy for everybody, especially when you have ADD. It's not an easy thing to do at all. Well, he took me off the schedule without even telling me that he was going to. So I left there because it was just obvious that it was not going to work. Then I was out of work for about a month, I think, before I got a job working at Captain D's. That lasted, I think, for about a month before an ex-convict who was the only closing full-time manager that they had. We had a minor disagreement. He decided that it was and it was minor, okay? He decided it was such a big deal that he had to threaten me physical harm and death. Then told the boss that he would not work with me, so if I stayed, he was going to quit. Of course, him being the only closing full-time manager that they had, they kept him. However, inappropriately. He's just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off again on somebody. So, and then now since then, nothing. And like I said, nothing in sight that looks in any way promising. So, and the way things are going, it could be months, it could be years. I don't know. Thank God I got my dog. That's all I can say. I was talking to her, cuddling with her just a little while ago. Telling her if it wasn't for her, and it's true, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be getting any cuddles and love from anybody, because she's really the only one that I get any of that from. Thank God I've got her. Well, that's where things are with me. I would appreciate it if you would drop a few lines. Let me know in the comments how things going with you. What are you dealing with at this point? You dealing with difficulty where inflation is concerned? One thing that I did do before I became unemployed for the last 3 months, when I was working, I went without a lot deliberately so that I could put money away. And at one time since August, I had, the first time around, I had $1,000 saved up from going without to put money away. That lasted for about a month, and then it was gone. And then I saved another $1,300, and that was gone within a couple of months. And now, like I said, I'm down to just about nothing. Having to accept a lot of charity from my mom. Don't have any choice. There's no money. So, well, again, let me know what's going on with you. Are you experiencing difficulty from inflation? Are you able to put any money away? Are you unemployed? Are you having a difficult time finding a job? If you enjoy, listening, please share. That would be great. Definitely comment, please comment. All these things do help getting this circulated. From what I've been seeing in the videos that I'm looking at, I'm not the only one having these problems. I definitely do want to hear from you, however. Now, I want to make sure that as many people as possible are going to actually be willing to listen to this. I've already gone into almost 11 minutes. So, see you next time. If you're not sick of it yet, you probably will be soon. Later.